From the moment the sirens wailed behind me, a shiver of unease trembled down my spine. I had always been a creature of habit. Up at dawn, coffee at the same cafe every morning, and then a walk in the park. But that day, my routine, so familiar and comforting, became the very noose that tightened around my life. As I strolled the park's winding paths, lost in thought, I chanced upon a grotesque scene. Blood-soaked grass surrounding a lifeless body, her lifeless eyes staring into the void. I felt bile rise in my throat, and before I could gather my wits to dial 911, blue and red lights flashed around me, and hands forcibly gripped my shoulders. I was surrounded. "Sir, step away from the body," an officer commanded. I just found her," I stammered, but my voice sounded alien and distant. Evidence, as it turned out, was stacked heavily against me. My fingerprints were all over the scene, not surprising since I had frequented that spot for years. More damning, however, was a knife found in the bushes nearby, a knife that bore an uncanny resemblance to a set I owned. During the trial, my lawyer did his best, pointing out the lack of motive, my impeccable record, and character references that attested my gentleness. But the prosecution painted a different picture. A man grown bored of his mundane life, seeking thrill in the darkest of places. The jury's deliberation was torturous. When they returned with "guilty" on their lips, the weight of the verdict pressed the air from my lungs. A life sentence for a crime I did not commit. Inside prison, days became indistinguishable from nights. I was haunted not by the crimes of my past, but by the injustice of the present. The cold steel bars became symbols of my entrapment in a life stolen from me. The only solace was the hope that the real murderer might be caught one day, vindicating me. Whispers and rumors wove their way through the prison corridors like stories shared on the outside. One night, as I lay on my bunk, I overheard a conversation between inmates in the adjacent cell. A man named Tarek was bragging about a murder in the park, the details chillingly familiar. With every ounce of strength and cunning, I reached out to anyone who might listen, anyone who could reopen my case. Years crawled by. But finally, one fateful day, new evidence emerged pointing squarely at Tarek. My case was re-examined and my innocence proclaimed to the world. When I emerged from that prison, the sun seemed brighter, the air purer. The scars of lost years, of stolen time, remain deep. My tale is a cautionary one, a grim reminder that sometimes being in the wrong place at the wrong time can cost you everything.